Hello, welcome to Love Food, Hate Money. I understand that there's a couple of you that are going to be welcome backs and a couple first-timers. So that everyone is on the same page, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. This is going to be the show where we talk about how much we love food and the endless amounts of money that we're going to throw at it. I'm going to be one of your hosts, Jonah. This is going to be co-host Courtney.
Hey.
And today we're doing a daytime record. So we're going to talk about drinks. We're going to talk about coffee.
Woohoo!
Because we need that to function. Otherwise, we have no brain. Today, we're drinking some coffee from Pear Cup Works. Longtime friends of sorts, I guess. I don't know. Would you consider Kim Hawk a friend or like a rival acquaintance?
No, I think we're friendly.
Nice. We're drinking their hydro honey processed coffee beans from East Java. You bought this one just because I don't think you'd had coffee from Java, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've had coffee from Java, and I thought the tasting notes sounded really good.
Dried fig, stone fruit, hazelnut is what it says on the box. I would say that that's all pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So good job of being approachable.
Good tasting.
Good job with notes. No, I think you said it best with like it's
really approachable. Like it's not. You could serve this to your grandpa and he's going to be like, oh, this isn't that nasty light roast the kids are drinking. But you can also serve this to the coffee nerd down the street and they'd be like, oh, yeah, like this has got like some really good nuance to it.
And grandpa will find out that it costs $7 for the cup and get real mad.
That's true. I will link their website in the description for this week. I bet this coffee will be gone by then, just because we do record about 6 weeks in advance, just because
we're in a full other time zone.
Yeah, as of this recording, we're actually driving back from San Diego. So that'll be really fun. We'll have lots of fun stories, I'm sure, to talk about with that trip. But
yes.
With the way our schedules are right now and with as busy as you are, we have to just record when we can.
We'll talk when we can talk.
Which is why we're doing the morning record.
Which is nice. You can hear the birds chirping in the background.
The construction at our apartment complex.
Yeah, it's not even construction. It's just like never-ending painting, which is being much louder than you would expect painting to be.
So, you have a story for us today.
Are we starting off with story time, server stories?
I think we need a Jonah story time. And I think in addition to that, I think we need people to start sending us their industry stories. I think generally, like, industry people have some of the funniest stories to share and to tell. And we want to hear them and we want to read them back to you. So we're going to put up our email in the description and you can find us on Instagram and send us your stories.
Because laughing is good. Or send a sad story. If your story can make us cry, that's actually better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think any restaurant-related story, like even if you haven't worked in a restaurant, if you just saw something happen and you were like, wow, that changed my life. Because this story is a life-changing story.
What I think too, like, especially front of house people, because you deal with so many different types of people, like the stories that you have are just so crazy. Like I think about our friend John, who's a bartender, who talks about the time he had somebody like throw up during his shift and trying to get a busser to clean it up. And the busser just like walked out and he was like, yeah, no, I get that. I would also quit.
Yeah, that's the right time to quit if we're quitting.
I would love to get him on to actually tell that story because the way he tells it is just masterful. It's so funny.
Good storyteller. But yeah, my story fairly recently. I was serving a table. I was bartending at the time or making cocktails. And so I walked this drink out. The person that the drink was for wasn't there, but a significant other was there. She was like, oh, I really love your shirt. I said, oh, thanks. Like, your dress is pretty. And then the guy by that point had like gotten back to the table and sat down. And she like looks at me and then she looks at him and she was like, said to me, do you have anything to like say about him?
Which is such a weird thing to say.
It was a really weird position to be in, and I
fishing
think
for compliments left and right.
Like, yeah, I think it was just like oh, we're all being nice. This is fun. Well, that backfired. So I scanned this man up and down, and again, I work at a restaurant that is proper but not fussy, with no dress code. And so this man is sitting outside, and he's wearing his shorts, and he's wearing thon sandals at a restaurant where you can buy $40 steaks, and there was a evil little part of my mind that said, no, thank you, sir. So I looked him up and down and I made eye contact with him and I said, your toes are well kept. And then I walked away like I was never even there. And he, from what I recall, kind of like, and then laughed with like a darkness behind it. And then maybe 5 or so minutes go by, and I'm walking through the restaurant, and I just see that man staring at his toes in the distance. And so somewhere in the world, that man is either never wearing open-toed shoes again, or he's only wearing open-toed shoes because his piggies are well kept.
I think he ruined his life.
I think so. I like the idea that he might hear this story and realize that there is another half of the person that did it to him, and then there's him who has to tell that story. Because the girl that he was with was laughing. So, like, she's never going to not tell that story.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't imagine how, like, I am always on edge about what people think all the time. So if somebody...
So to hear it...
could literally be paying someone to bring me food, and then they're just like, and actually...
I mean, I did say something nice, because, like, they were the worst toes I've ever seen. I just wasn't ready for toes. So when I did the quick up-down scan, my put-on-the-spot brain was like, this is probably the right thing to say.
I think the moral of the story is you think that as a server boy, you get to do stand-up any time you feel like it.
It's all stand-up. We're always... That's what we're there for. Entertainment. Are you not entertained?
I love reading Yelp and Google reviews, and I keep looking for the one that's like, the server, I think, had a foot fetish. So we'll keep you guys updated if we find that review.
That one is me. But it's not me.
So today's like actual focus is we were going to talk about value as far as the hate money portion of our name, because we had some kind of fun. We ate out a shit ton this weekend. We spent so much money. It feels bad now as we wake up here on this Tuesday morning to realize that we are poor again. But we had our first...
yes. That one weekend is where all our wealth went. 3 meals and we were done.
3 meals.
That's all it was.
Guys, please
send help.
Send rates and reviews so that maybe we'll get sponsors for this show so we can afford our escapades.
Companies that sell flip-flops specifically, because you can eat yummy sauces off of them or show off your piggies in nice restaurants. Looking at you, flip-flop companies. Are there flip-flop companies exclusively? I know that all companies sell shoes. Is there like a... can't
think of any brand specifically. Like Chonkless come to mind. I feel like Crocs would be a really great sponsor.
You can't see piggies in Crocs unless you're wearing slides.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah. Sponsored by Birkenstocks.
I don't think
you love Birkenstocks.
I love my Birks. That's true. I saved up for them because we were poor.
Love shoes, hate.
But we...
Love shoes, hate socks.
Yeah. Sky's out, pig's out, right?
This little piggy went to the restaurant with his whole pig family.
Oh, no.
And then got shamed.
No. But anyways, we had our first Mexican pizza from Taco Bell this weekend.
Yeah, I ate Taco Bell a lot growing up, but I don't think I ever actually had a Mexican pizza before they were discontinued. So it was nice to try.
Yeah, I definitely hadn't had one until...
You didn't have fast food until I ruined your life.
Well, we would stop at like... My mom had a thing of like trying to find like healthier options at fast food restaurants. So like we would eat at Wendy's every once in a while. Baby. And we would get like baked potatoes and chili, grilled chicken sandwiches.
I don't really know how much healthier the baked potato is than like the actual French fries. Because like you still slather it in butter and stuff, butter and cream, probably higher fat than the fries.
There's a lady that does a series on TikTok that's like, eat this to stay under 500 calories. And one of them was like a large chili and a baked potato. So I can't imagine it's that bad.
Yeah, but a plain potato.
Well, you pour the chili on. That would be really good. But anyways, Mexican pizza. It was
tasty.
It was fine. I wouldn't get another one.
No, it was not. It wasn't like the...
It's no spicy potato taco.
Well, spicy potato tacos are good. Because of the value, and we'll talk more about the value because that's the whole point of this. But what was it was like the cheesy quesalupa that was the super cheese stuffed chalupa.
Yes.
That they had for a while that we was so expensive, but so good.
Yeah, no, that one was like $7 for just the
one item thing. Yeah, I think it was a quesalupa. Yeah, that's right, because there was Drew who kept calling it a quesarito just to make me mad. You put respect on that name.
That one will definitely be back. I guarantee it, because it was really popular.
I'll eat it weekly.
They actually, I don't know if you saw the list of the 4 new items they have coming out.
I saw the thumbnail, but I don't click on those because they feel too clickbaity.
But they have two new drinks, which I'm like, I don't really care. I'm not a big soda drinker. One of them was like a new brisk tea, and the other one was like a new flavor of Sierra Mist or something. Like, it wasn't interesting.
I don't drink either of those. I mean, Sierra Mist is fine, but it's not Sprite.
And then they're bringing back the weird cheesy gordita, the one that has like the cheese on the outside, I think.
Oh.
But the new item they have coming out is it's a biscuit with cheese melted on top. And I'm like, what?
Taco Bell biscuits?
Taco Bell doesn't need to be doing biscuits.
I mean, it's going to be like a KFC biscuit. That's the same company.
Oh, yeah, that seems silly to me. But the funny thing to me about the Mexican pizza was the cost of it, because it's like $6.
Yeah, I think each little pizza was $6.
And when we go to Taco Bell, I think we usually spend $7 total.
That's the goal.
Because the dollar menu there is really where it's at.
The $1, $2, $3 cravings menu, actually. Actually.
But even like, if we go there, like, I would just rather have like 2 or 3 spicy potato tacos. Like, that, it hits the spot.
It's just enough.
And it's got the value. Whereas like the Mexican pizza, I'm like, $6? I'm not going to give you $6.
Spicy potato tacos for this price point.
But the funny thing is the juxtaposition of, we went to brunch at Bacanora this weekend. Mm-hmm. And the food there is just phenomenal. Like, highest recommendation.
Everything was incredible.
Everything Renee touches is gold. Like, his food's just phenomenal. And we spent about $100 per person for brunch. And we were talking on the way home about how the 32-ounce ribeye that we ordered was a really good value, because it was only $140. And I just think that's
140 spicy potato tacos based on our previous logic.
Based on our math. Well, now that you say it that way, maybe we messed up.
I want to know what that looks like, 140 spicy potato tacos at once.
But the funny
Probably
thing is,
an angry employee. Like, you order it, and then you just see an employee walk out of the Taco Bell.
I don't think I could bring myself to order 140 spicy potato tacos. That would feel wrong to me, because I've made like my own version of spicy potato tacos. We had a Taco Bell themed pool party last year. Mm-hmm. And I made enough for like 20 people.
Yep.
For probably like $20. Like, it's not expensive ingredients. So it's funny.
Potatoes.
Yeah. It's a funny.
The contrast to the frame of mind, because value is 100% subjective, is the takeaway, where there's not any, especially for us, like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like,
that's true.
A lot of people would look at, I mean, there is rhyme or reason that makes sense to us, but like, it is 100% subjective, because there's people that are going to hear that the Mexican pizza that we spent $15 total at Taco Bell, and we're like, we feel kind of ripped off. But then we spent $200 for half of the food at a meal at a restaurant. Actually, I probably ate 2/3 of that meal, but that's
granted. We did almost eat their whole brunch menu.
Yeah.
And cocktails.
It was delicious.
It was perfect.
And it was great and worth everything. But it was funny to the price tag difference of like one meal here that we were satisfied with $15, and one meal here we were satisfied with $200, and we were like, that's it. We just stole from them. We did.
We ripped them off. I do wonder what that is about us specifically. I don't know if it's just us. I would love to hear if other people are like this. But for some reason, for me, like, when I eat at a restaurant that's like either locally owned or more high end or something like that, like, the money doesn't hurt as much to spend.
I think there's all about the perception or like the awareness of what goes into it. Whereas like Taco Bell's food, like, does have a lot that goes into it, because you've got whatever large facilities they're cranking out all their potatoes in and shipping that all out and keeping everything streamlined, because fast food is wizardry as far as like streamlining that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But then you've got like, oh no, this is a local like 32 dry aged bone-in ribeye that took, I don't know, probably 30 plus minutes to cook, like on an open fire. Like, that was a big chunk of moo. And the whole process behind it. Like, I think you have to be aware of it to not freak out. I think that both of the families that we grew up in don't put the value into that stuff or the thought into that stuff. Old spaghetti factory is what I think of immediately.
It was funny. My dad and I were just texting about that the other day because that's where we went for Mother's Day. And we were talking about how he and I could have just probably spent like $30 and made spaghetti for the whole family. All like, I don't know, there's probably 15, 16 of us.
There was, I think, 10 people on either side. I think that was a 20 top.
Was it a 20 top? And one server, that poor guy. But just how like we could have made that at home. And I grew up with my dad, who's a really great cook. And his thing was like, why would I go out to eat it if I can make it at home for cheaper? Mm-hmm. And so what you're saying like totally resonates in the sense of like, you have to understand like when you're going and eating it, especially a lot of the newer local restaurants where they're like local sourcing, you know, we're trying to bring in the best produce, the best meat.
Trying to pay our staff, pay ourselves, pay rent in the Metro Phoenix area, which is bad for residents, let alone businesses.
Yeah. I think that when you factor all that in, it makes it a lot easier to just send that money out. And I think
off into the abyss.
The other part of that too, because I was thinking about like when we went to Noma, that meal was what, $700?
I think so.
Ugh.
$700 back when we were 18-year-old kids. That was stressful.
Yeah. That was when my car got declined and I had to call. I had to use their phone, call international, have my mom log into my bank account and like fix it so that we could pay for that meal.
Even the bank was like, nah, that's too much.
That's too much.
Not for you. Not today.
But even that though, like looking back on it, like I'm still glad that we did it. I'm still glad that we spent that money, but you also have to think about the service aspect. Mm-hmm. And I think that's
you're paying to go to a play at that point.
Right. There's a whole story behind it. Another great example that I was eating at Kai here in Phoenix. Yeah. Like the person who's serving you has had to memorize these stories and is telling you the
story of the Pima and the Maricopa tribes and how they came together, why they settled in that valley, why the quote Wild Horse Pass is important historically, and all of their religious stories.
And it's amazing.
That aren't actually like written down, so they have to be like memorized through oral. Mm-hmm.
I think like I wish more people would put more value on that, because a lot of times I feel like you talk about, especially us, because we this no holds bar spend money on food, but
whatever it costs.
But I think that if we as a society put more value.
Can I have a quick sidebar on that one?
Yeah.
The one knock that I'll have to throw at Bacanora is like, I will pay whatever it costs, but I do want to know how much it costs. So if you could throw like some idea of a price on your brunch menu, that'd kind of be cool.
Price? Yeah, no, all menus.
There was a back of my mind thing of like, if that ribeye is $300, I'm going to be a little bit sad. Like by the end of it was not ripped off, enjoyed the meal. It was delicious, but that was a real weird, like the entire, what was that? 16 dishes basically just being market price. We're not going to tell you. You're just going to order. Is like really
it's scary. Intense. It's a little intense. Yeah. No, I agree. I think restaurants do themselves a disservice when they don't put pricing on the menu, because people may not order certain things without knowing.
Right. Then it's the weird, you get put in a weird position with the service staff as a guest, because as a guest, back of your mind, you're trying to like order everything you want, but then you're like doing all this mental math and you're like, okay, server, how much is this dish? And they're like $30. And then like, they'll see you immediately be, I don't want to spend $30 for that. But then also you don't want to see them, you don't want them to see you thinking about that $30 too hard. So you're like, it's $30, it's fine. I'm not going to cry. You're going to cry.
And I think we've all had that experience where you go to a restaurant and they unfortunately don't have the prices on the menu. And then you order and you get the bill and you go, holy crap.
No.
What did we just do?
We did that on in the Denmark trip. That was fun. That was probably as far as value goes, that's like the lowest value meal that we've ever had. Was the first meal that we had when we got to Denmark.
That's such a great story. We should definitely try to reach out to Shelby to be on the show, because it was his fault.
It was his fault. He he's just like, yeah, Prosecco sounds great.
No, just tell the story because it's a great story.
So we get to Denmark. We didn't know how much anything was going to cost when we got there, realistically. Like, we knew how much flying there was going to be, but we really didn't do too much research. It was our first time going international of our own, like, fruition. So we didn't really know what to do and look for. Like, we looked up the exchange rate, but that doesn't actually do much unless you look up the exchange rate and then also like how much their stuff costs.
Yeah, because if you go to a McDonald's and don't realize that a combo is going to be $17 USD, like, you're going to be in for a shock. Yeah,
so we get there and we're hungry, and the first meal that we go to is this like little Italian spot, and it was funny because everyone's like, yeah, you could like go there. It's good food. And we go in, and then there's like pictures of all of these different food celebrities, like
the scattered on the walls. Famous or something, yeah.
Or at least famous enough that like anytime a celebrity food personality was in there, like they got their picture like put up on the wall. It was really weird. So we go and we sit down, and it's, I don't know, 10 of us, I think.
Yeah.
And the host owner person interacts with Shelby,
who was at the end of the table closest to literally being reachable, because the table was so long to accommodate us that some of us were like squished in a corner.
Yeah, we were like squished in a corner, small. Like, it was, we weren't being interacted with, but the guy was like, Prosecco? And he was like, yeah, Prosecco. So then we all got Prosecco, which is fun. Like, cool, thank you for the Prosecco. Until the very end, I'm pretty sure each glass was $40.
It was something crazy. Like, it was definitely more than $20
like
per glass.
We split a single pasta dish with 4 ounces of pasta and had
we were like, holy crap.
2 4-ounce pours of Prosecco, because they weren't even like actual pours from what I remember. Tiny. But that might have just been because I was a child and trying to figure, not a child. I was legal drinking age in the country. I was 18.
I was 12. I don't know what I was doing there.
Prosecco! But we got 2 ounces of Prosecco, and we each had about 3 ounces of pasta, and that cost $200.
It was at least $150.
It was that set the tone.
And then
for
we
that
were
trip.
Starving.
Yeah, we were starving afterward. We were like, can we even go to, like, can we afford the $17 meal at McDonald's now? Like, what do we, cold sweat?
And I remember that trip too, specifically, like, we got in trouble with the people we were traveling with for not being able to keep up financially. And we were like, we're 18 years old. Like, we can't spend $400 a day on food. And
would love to, now, but you signed our paychecks, so like you have a general idea of how math's not working out.
Even now, like, we shouldn't be spending that much money on food.
Mm-mm.
We usually don't.
No, this last weekend was just a nice, like, everything lined up, and we had a good amount of free time, and a lot of people that we'd already made plans with. This weekend we just hyper planned.
Yes, and we got to try some really new fun things. Like, at this point, like, Disco Dragon will have been open for a little while now, and that place is just...
Disco Dragon's what I wanted to open in a cocktail spot.
It is excellent. Get down there, go to Disco Dragon, say hey to Brennan and Sam. Like, they're killing it.
They own that block in, like, the funniest way possible, where they're literally like, yeah, these are all our businesses.
Roosevelt belongs to them.
East Roosevelt.
Yeah. Where else did we go? We said Bacanora.
Yep, Bacanora.
We went to Pear.
We did go to Pear. Their drink with the Nesquik in it was great. Mm-hmm. Strawberry Quick belongs in everything.
They have some really fun seasonal drinks right now. We went to Greenwood.
Greenwood was great. Got to see friends there. Greenwood's also a great location. Like, we did a little bit of everything. Beer, cocktails, big time brunch.
So many good things. And then we tried that new coffee spot. It's new to us. I don't know how long it's been open.
Bones.
Oh, yeah. Bones Aftermarket. Really, really cute. And one of the best cortados I've had in a long time.
Macchiato there was great, too. Also, I am excited for the day where I order a macchiato and someone looks at me and goes, he knows what that is, instead of explaining it to me.
Should we tell our listeners what a traditional macchiato is?
No, because they all probably know. And if they don't, they can look it up themselves. Clearly, it's a 20-ounce beverage that's iced with...
Okay, first of all, they put vanilla syrup.
Oh, yeah, vanilla syrup.
And then you put the milk. And then you put the shots on top. And then you do caramel drizzle, and you got to do 7 zigzags the one way, and then you turn the cup and you got to do 7 zigzags the other way, because that is the standard.
Yeah. That's a traditional macchiato.
It's a traditional macchiato, and any coffee shop that tells you any different, they are lying. If they try to give you 2 shots of espresso with like a splash of milk on it, send it back.
They're a liar.
Tell them that's not
my tradition. God help us. That was...
Guys, that's a joke. Please don't.
I mean, that or we create a full-on revolution and
make all specialty coffee shops.
All specialty coffee shops moving forward are like, no, the people are rioting. They need their traditional macchiatos, and so the 32-ounce Ultima Grande macchiato.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But
look, I come from a different family. We do things traditionally another way.
Your traditions are not my traditions. My traditions.
This is America.
And that's another funny comparison too, because I'm like, I don't want to go to Starbucks and spend $6 on one of their coffees, but I will go. Like the other day when I was at a coffee shop, I spent $40. Mm-hmm. I brought you a coffee. I had 2 drinks while I was there, and I bought beans. That feels fine. But you're going to tell me I'm going to walk into a Starbucks and pay $6 for my peppermint mocha?
My 44-ounce big gulp of coffee with enough sugar pumped directly into it to help me see God.
Ooh, I should definitely do some Starbucks horror stories at some point. That would be really fun.
You do? Yeah, you have your own facet of the industry that you can talk about. Like the poopy pants.
Oh my God. Bathroom day. That was a bad day.
That sounds like a full other story. That's for another time.
Another
that could
time.
Be the coffee special.
Literally. That is the coffee special is the bathroom time.
I don't get that from coffee. I don't know if I should be envious of the people that have that experience.
Concerned, actually.
I think it just means I'm stronger. We're going to go with that. My constitution is not easily broken by a bit of bean juice. So
yeah, tell us, I want to know like where they put value on food. Like, where's your line?
Yeah.
Because a last fun example before we wrap up today is you worked at Chipotle. Mm-hmm. You will not go eat at Chipotle anymore.
I mean, I will, but I won't be happy about it because it's not worth it. It's like, I don't know. It's chicken and like $2 for the guac. Like you can buy 5 avocados and make enough guac for the whole family.
I mean, avocados are cheaper than gas right now, so that is probably a good investment.
Yes. My car runs on avocados. No, Chipotle's, I don't know. It's fine. It's just by the time I get everything that I want out of it, it's an $11 individual item, and we're not part of the guys, don't tell them I know this secret bull nonsense where you've got people that are ordering.
Where you get the bowl with the tortilla on the side.
Like, I know the greatest secret that you can get technically 2 meals out of this. Like, yeah, if you want to eat the same thing, but you want to drown yours in a pool of sour cream that makes... No,
I don't drown mine in sour cream. I ask for all the salsas, though. I want it doused in hot salsa so that I hurt later.
Mm-hmm, because of the coffee. I don't know. It works if you want the exact same thing, but it doesn't work for us because when we go to Chipotle, our orders are almost opposites.
Super different.
Also, I think that eating it for free as long as I did.
Yes.
Kind of makes it like, well, I don't ever want to pay for that. Similar with like Cane's. Like, I don't really ever want to pay for Cane's again. That's another spot where I struggle with the value.
And again, we're just listing off like large chains that we don't want to give.
Like we'll give money to, but like there's a certain, I don't know, if there's something about a $1, $2, $3 cravings menu where like you associate value with it, and
then it tastes better.
Also, if I'm like in the middle of, like if I'm in a drive-through situation, I've already spent too much money on other things, guaranteed. I'm already thinking about like, I just need something cheap right now. Mm-hmm. This is a trying time.
Which is why we go to Wendy's so much.
Wendy's is a G, although they did change their menu recently.
Yeah.
So that their biggie bag doesn't have the good burger in it anymore. It has all the other things that were in the 4 for $4. So
I don't get it.
Now they're beating us. They showed us who was boss.
This is a petition for Wendy's to not change the biggie bag. They did keep the original one.
Which those food petitions work because back to Taco Bell. looking back at that entire order was things that were discontinued, and then people were like, no, bring that back. And then they did.
I think
Yum Brands might be one of the only brands that actively is engaged with that stuff, though, and being like, yeah, we care about what people think.
No, my hot take is that's all a marketing scheme. I think.
Give and take.
I think that they pull those things off the menu intentionally, knowing that it will cause an uproar, and that when they bring it back, it will spike sales. I don't think that it's any like, oh, we love you guys. We want you to have the food you want. No, they would have kept it on the menu if that was it.
No, they clearly love us. They're a big corporation. And if I know anything about big corporations is that they love all of us individually because we're all important.
We're all special?
Yeah, important and special. On that note, this special person just noticed that the last table is getting up finally. We actually had to kick them out because we closed at 10 and it's midnight. And we got to get these people out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Love Food, Hate Money. Make sure to give us a like, rate, and review on social media, on your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us. You can email us at hello@lovefoodhatemoney.com. And special thanks to John Watkins of Feather Fiction Studios for our original music and all our editing.
Made a mess.